So, the Kawasaki ZH2 here, guys and gals. Had an oil change, I don't know, when was it? Was it in October? I can't remember when the last oil change was. But there was a channel that I came across recently, which I've actually referenced before in a past video, and I really like the content that they do, and it's called the Car Care Nut. They're not a small channel by any means. They got a couple 100,000 subscribers, something like that. And this is it's a Toyota mechanic, or it was a mechanic that used to work for Toyota, and now he's got like his own independent garage. But he totally advocates and he persuades people, or tries to justify, changing oil in engines every 6 months or 5,000 miles, whichever comes first. Now, a lot of you are going to know that owner's manuals are actually, they say a year, or in some cases up to 10,000 miles or more, before, as the intervals for every oil change. And in today's video, we're going to talk about oil a little bit, how I feel about it, and I don't know, try and just make some common sense out of this, be logical. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know anything about oil, and the thing is, like, how are you supposed to know what oil is good and how long it's supposed to last? People rely on brands to kind of tell them whether or not it's a good oil or something like that actually does what it says on the tin. But yeah, let's jump on the ZH2. Let's go for a ride, and I don't know. Now, the Car Care Nut is a very knowledgeable guy. He knows like so much, especially about Toyota engines, but he did do a video a little while ago about his dream car, and he did some maintenance work on his dream car, and that's a Mercedes. So, this guy, he knows about his cars. He's not, he's not naive or ignorant, and I think the message that he's trying to give to people, I think, is the correct one. If you really care about your car, or if you really care about your motorcycle, because in this instance we're going to talk about motorcycles in particular, if you really care about it, then there's nothing wrong with changing the oil a little bit earlier than you should. Well, I say that a little bit earlier than you should, a little bit earlier than the manual says you should. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that advice whatsoever. And then it kind of like, you kind of start questioning, if I need to change the oil every 6 months, then do I need to change the oil filter every 6 months? And traditionally, that's what you're supposed to do. Every single time whenever you do an oil change on an engine, you also change the oil filter at the same time. But again, that's a question I don't know the answer to, because filters are only designed to last as long as the oil is. But then you think, if oil's supposed to last a year, then surely the filter itself will last a year, right? I don't know. That's something maybe we need to do a little bit of research on here. But yeah, traditionally, whenever you change the oil, you always change the filter alongside it as well, the oil filter. But why would manufacturers say every year? Why would they say that? Or X amount of miles, 8,000 miles, 10,000 miles, whatever it might be in your particular case? Well, according to the Car Care Nut, these technical publications, these owner's manuals, are not written by the engineers, the mechanics that build the cars or design the cars. So his argument is that, the owner's manuals are wrong because it's actually written by basically the managers, the people who aren't necessarily technically involved in building the cars. And so to make their lives easier, they say, will it last past the warranty period if they're doing the oil changes every year? And if the mechanics say, yeah, then there you go. That's all the justification they need to make it every year. So, so actually it should be done every 6 months. It should be done half that time if you want the engine to last. Anyway, if you want the motorcycle to last, then you should change the oil a lot more frequently. I don't know about you guys, but oil here in the UK isn't cheap. Even for part synthetic oil, you're looking at about 30 quid for a bottle of about 5 litres. Now 5 litres is more than enough to fill up almost any motorcycle, and a lot of cars as well. It's enough to fill up most cars. So it's kind of like, if you're having to spend, say, for oil and a filter, every single year you have to spend 100 quid on oil and filters for doing the oil changes every 6 months. Well, you know, it's not a lot of extra money over the course of a year, really, an extra 50 quid. Really, I mean, I'm kind of guessing here. Fully synthetic is going to be more expensive, of course, and depending on the filter that you buy, it could be more or less expensive as well. And then it kind of brings in another question to mind. Well, if it's every 6 months, then if I buy a more quality oil or a so-called long life motor oil, then will that allow me to run the engine for the full year before I need to change it? Maybe, maybe not. Any viewers out there that are experts or, I don't know, lab analysts of oil, then let me know. Hit me up in the comments, because I found nothing online that tells you how good an oil is. It's all just marketing, it's all just branding, like nothing actually tells you what's good and what isn't. The only indicator that you've got is the ratings, the certifications. If the oil has the right certifications from the owner's manual, that it says in the owner's manual, then it should be, in theory, it should be okay to put in your bike for the recommended time period, the recommended period of time, which is a year or 7,000 miles, or however long it's 7,500 miles, whatever it might be, depending on your bike. Again, that's another question I have no idea the answer to, because it's nowhere. It's nowhere. You see these discussions in forums, you know, like which is good oil to buy, which is bad oil to buy, things like that. People say, oh, the engine sounds different with this kind of oil, and it sounds a lot better with this kind of oil. You get some people say, no, that's just a placebo effect or something like that. The engine probably sounds exactly the same, but to you it might sound a bit different because you're trying to find something wrong with that particular oil. I don't know. Like, someone in the comments, they said they made a statement which I thought was quite funny, to be fair, and I kind of went along with the joke a little bit in my response. But they said, so you buy a £16,000 motorcycle and you put in cheap Halfords oil, champagne lifestyle, and a poor man's wage or something like that, to that effect. And from my point of view, well, let's say this, right? Halfords oil isn't cheap anyway. It's about £1 less than other oils, maybe £5 less than other oils. So it's not that much cheaper anyway. But the main thing for me is it has that certification. It has all of the things that make it good for motorcycles. It has it branded on there. They wouldn't be allowed to sell it as motorcycle oil if it didn't have those certifications. And it does. It does. It has all the exact same certifications that it does in the owner's manual. So that should be enough for most people to think, well, it should be good enough for the service interval of a motorcycle. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe not. I'm sure a lot of this oil is all refined in the same places. In the exact same places. The exact same refineries. It's not the refineries that brand the oil and then sell it on. They just distribute it to other companies. Other companies will buy it and then just stick their label on the bottles. Literally, that's it. So, you think to yourself, well, what's the bloody difference then between part synthetic oil from Halfords and part synthetic oil from Castrol, for example, or Mobil, or Petronas, whatever other oil brands, companies there are out there? What's the difference? Because all made in the same places. I suppose that the additives and stuff might be slightly different, but at the same time, you'd think that these additives, again, because fully synthetic oil is made in a lab, you'd have thought that, again, it's all made in the same lab. I don't know. Maybe. That's what I mean. No one knows. It's all branding and it's all marketing, guys. So for me, I find it very, very difficult to justify buying a slightly more expensive oil for the sake of it being a well-known brand. And I get it, you've got to trust brands and things, you know, there are trusted brands that you should be using, I get it, I totally get it. But putting on my logical thinking hat on for a second, or my logical thinking helmet, like, is it really? You know, being kind of like, what's the word, skeptical, or being critical of these, you know, these things, like what makes them so good. And again, like if you read articles online about why an oil is better than the other, a lot of the time it's sponsored by the company that is saying that their oil is better than everyone else's. So you can't trust it. You can't trust the information. But the thing you can trust are those certifications, because they have to have them on there. If it doesn't meet those requirements, it cannot be sold as that product, because it's fraud. You know, otherwise they'd be selling something that it isn't. Yeah, it's like if they just put normal engine oil into a bottle and called it motorcycle oil. I don't think they'd be able to sell it like that. I'm sure that companies have probably tried doing that in the past to get away with it, but no, absolutely not. So this is tough, guys. This is a really, really tough question, and for me, I just like to stick to the recommended intervals on the manual. Yeah, a lot of these brands, I know that I understand what the car care nut is saying, and we should heed what he's saying about, you know, the people who produce or publish these owners' manuals. You know, they will be like, well, what can we get away with here? What can we get away with? And then it makes sense to just put that in the owner's manual, because why not? But at the same time, what motivation would they have to do that? Because if they are a reliable brand, like Toyota is notoriously a notoriously reliable brand. Honda as well, notoriously reliable brand. Well, why would they do that? What would be their motivation behind doing that if it could mean that their bikes wouldn't be as reliable, or their cars wouldn't be as reliable as the reputation that they have? You know, I mean, if an engine wouldn't be able to last on a particular oil for a particular length of time, and then, you know, after the warranty period expired, 3 years, 2 years, something like that, and then all of a sudden you start getting engine problems, well, that company would not be regarded as a reliable company from that point on. You know what I mean? It's in a company's best interest to keep their reputations, their reliability reputations, I think. I don't know, guys, maybe I'm wrong here. Definitely let me know what you guys think down in the comments about this, and I know that there's a big discussion to be had about this topic, so definitely let me know what you guys think, and how often you guys change your oil. I know that, again, a lot of people with older cars and older motorcycles as well in particular, that the kind of like, also the attitude that you should have towards them is that you should need to look after them even more because they're wearing out, so you need to look after them even more. And it's like, yeah, absolutely, that's fine. And maybe I'm sure an engine would last longer if it had oil changes sooner, if it had oil filter coolant changes sooner. I'm sure that all engines would last a hell of a lot longer, or engine components would wear a hell of a lot less if people did that. I have no doubt. But at the same time, guys, you do kind of think, how much extra how much extra lifespan would a motorcycle have if you did do 6 monthly oil changes, 6 monthly services? You know? Maybe it'll last longer, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe. Because these things are mechanical. Mechanical things just wear out. Over time, they just wear out. So it kind of makes you wonder how much extra it would actually do to extend the lifespan of your bike. But anyway, guys and gals, there you have it. That's my take on the situation. As far as I'm concerned, you should just follow the manual. You know, I trust the brands that I buy. Well, I've been talking about brands, but you know, I trust Kawasaki. Thanks for indicating, you dickhead. Honestly, I trust the brands that I buy, the motorcycles, the car brands that I buy, and I trust their documentation. If they are saying that this is what you should be doing, then I've got to go along with it. Even though I know that the wisdom from the car care nut is probably correct. But yeah, It really does depend on, again, your attitude towards the motorcycle or the car that you drive or ride, because it's like, well, how long do you want it to last? If you want it to last a longer amount of time, if you want to be able to enjoy it for a longer amount of time, then yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing an extra service in between the owner's manual recommendations. But if that's something that isn't that much of an issue to you, like if you actually intend to have the bike for 3 years, 4 years, and then sell it on, well, it probably is going to make a difference to you. But thank you ever so much for joining me on today's ride. Thank you ever so much for watching all the way to the end. As always, guys, make sure to leave a like, and if you leave a dislike, well, let me know in the comments why, guys. Let me know in the comments. Hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Take care, guys and gals. Ride safe.